I'm going to share with you the exact system that I use to handle every product issue with my dropshipping business without damaging my reputation, without losing money, and without being overwhelmed. So if you just watch this video, you can copy it and implement it into your business. So why should you listen to me anyway? My name is James Eardley. I've been coaching and running seven-figure e-commerce stores for the last 3 years, and I've been able to remove myself from customer service chaos to scale the business. So let's get into it. First of all, we need to highlight the issue. And a big issue we have as dropshipping business owners is we have customers here, and if they get unhappy with the product, they look like this, with steam coming out of their ears. They come to us in the middle as the dropshipping business owner, trying to wave and say, hello, stay calm. And then what we have in a lot of product issue cases as a dropshipper is we have a supplier over here who is protected from the customer's angry venting, which comes to us as the dropshipper, and we act as the middleman between the two. And this happens especially early on, before you've got a really strong sense of the products that you sell, and before you've got a strong sense of the processes that you follow. But you are essentially the middleman that takes the flak from the angry customer if there's an issue with the product, and you have to go between you and the supplier to find out how to solve this issue without being able to just go straight back to the customer. And so what this looks like in your business is that you have to be the one that's constantly responding here and constantly chasing here and acting as a middleman. And it's no fun for anybody. But I've managed to remove this situation in my business. I've managed to remove the angry customers because they're quickly sorted. And I've managed to make sure that us as a middleman is protected and follows simple processes. So we remove this chaos. So with that said, let's dive straight into this, because as you can see at the top here, since the start of the video, my process that I believe in when it comes to dealing with product issues and dealing with any issue in my dropshipping business is that we first of all need to remove emotion, follow a clear process, and protect our reputation. So in order, remove emotion means that we need to stop feeling like so personal and such a personal attack when we hear negative criticism from customers, because that makes us act emotionally. It needs to take emotion out of the equation. The way that we remove emotion is by following a set process. So if you think about every issue that we come under, it comes into us here. We need to have a clear system. We have a clear machine. This is going to be a spanner for a machine. That is a process of how to deal with every customer issue, so that depending on what type of issue there is, there's a clear resolution 1 and resolution 2, depending on the issue. And sometimes you might need to go further if it's not quite resolved here. But again, we've got a clear process that we follow until we reach a resolution. And so if we don't fix it on the first instance, we've got a process to follow to fix it on the next instance, and so on and so on. But this is what I see. But what I don't see is processes. And what happens when you're very early in the business is, in reality, when something comes in from your customer, it comes straight to you as the business owner, and it's not a machine. It's you as a person, and you're upset. You feel it personally when a customer is upset with you. And instead of having clear processes, you just go to the supplier, and the supplier comes back with a solution, and you've got to go back. And then if they're not happy again, they come back to the supplier, and back again to the customer. And this cycle will repeat. And the only way that you get out of this and you stop crying as the middleman is if you have that processes that I've talked about in the past, where we have the clearest option 1 or option 2 for every situation. And therefore you protect your reputation, which is so crucial as a business owner. So let me walk you through now how to actually go about sorting every single type of product issue that might occur in your business. So step 1. The trigger for this process is notification from the customer, whether that's by phone, whether it's by live chat, whether it's by email. The trigger is a customer notification, a customer telling us that there's an issue with the product. Now, step 2 of this process is the same regardless of the different issue that they might have had. What we need to do, regardless, is get more details and get a photo. Because we need to, first of all, collect information about the issue. so we can respond to it in the correct way. So the first step for you is to go back to them and ask for full, photos, videos, and a full breakdown of the issue in as much detail as they can possibly provide. The more detail we've got, the better the resolution. And this can be done almost immediately because you don't need to do any thinking. Can be a template email. It can be handled by your VA, and they just send out a template email for any issues that asks for photos, asks for videos, and asks for a full breakdown, because it won't have likely come in the first instance. And even if it's come on the phone, you say that I'm going to send you an email now. We're going to get this sorted as quickly as possible, but I need you to put it all down for us so that we can get it fixed in the best possible way. And this shows customers that you care. And this, although they're angry, what they will understand is that somebody is looking after them. And a lot of the time with customer service, they just need to know that they're being cared for and that somebody's on the case, even if they're angry. So step 1 is to get the notification. Step 2 is to ask for details. Now, once we've got the details, this is step 3 now. We're going to handle the issue. The different possible options of product issue is only actually 5 different types. And all of the issues that we've ever had, I've been able to categorize into 5 different categories. So let me write these down for you now, so you will always be able to understand what type of issue there is. So the first one is that the product has been damaged on delivery. And that is, as soon as the customers receive the product, they are explaining that they've received a damaged product. The next option is that it'll be a simple fix remotely. And I'll write these down and come back to you once I've got them all written down. So there we have the 5 different possible types of product issues that will come your way. And as soon as you understand, you've got the details, you can put them into one of the 5 categories. And what we love about categories is that you can have a clear process for how to handle each different category. So now, instead of having a feeling like you're having to do it on a one-by-one basis, you know that as long as you've got 5 processes, every single product issue will fall into one of those processes and you just execute on that. So the first one, if you've got a damage on delivery, because we are drop shipping, the courier will be the responsibility of your supplier. And your supplier should have taken out some insurance to insure the product when it's out with the courier. So ultimately, this is up to your supplier to fix, because this is not your responsibility. Unless you are the one that is organizing the delivery, then it's not up to you to handle this one. So for us, we get a damage on delivery notification. We're straight in touch with the supplier to explain it, and the supplier will be the one that acts on this. They'll speak to the courier, make sure that they're funded. But what we want the supplier to do as quick as possible is to send out a replacement and organize for the return, a free return for the customer's damaged product, and get that fixed as soon as possible. That is the supplier's responsibility unless you're doing it. If it is you that's handling the delivery, then it's up to you to take out with your courier. But for best practice, make sure this gets handled with the customer quickly, and you can follow up the courier once the customer's got their new product. The next option, or the next type of issue, is that it can be an easy remote fix. So this is for your virtual assistant, customer service agent to handle. You just look at your internal knowledge base, so like an FAQ library that you have for your business. And if the issue with Mrs. Neal's barbecue is that the gas isn't feeding into the barbecue anymore, then in your internal knowledge base, you know that the most likely fix for that is that they need to top up the new gas. They need to put a new gas canister in or whatever it is. But the first check with these things is that, can we fix it first and foremost by ourselves? Is it something that we can fix without having to go to the supplier? And over time, we build up more and more knowledge about how to fix certain issues to a point where we can do 99% of the issues because we've got them in our internal knowledge base, send that back to the customer, and we've got a smiley face because we can fix that remotely, and that's the best type of product issue that gets fixed quickly. The next issue is that it's actually a fault with the product. And the way we find this out is we get all of the photos, the videos, the full detailed description, and we deduce based on the fact that we've got some internal knowledge of the way that we fix things in the past. And we feel like this actually sounds like it's not a customer's fault, and actually there is a fault here with the product itself. So if we believe that is the case, then we must get back in touch with the supplier, because ultimately they are under contract to make sure that the product is received as shown. and they'll want to protect their brand reputation. So your supplier is going to be the one that needs to handle a product fault because they can't be sending out products that are faulty. And if you have a suspicion of this, it goes to the supplier, and we want the supplier to arrange for free returns for the previous one, and they'll replace it with a free replacement. Not a free replacement. They won't get their money back, but they'll get a replacement that works. And that's a nice, easy one to fix there. Now, the next one is a warranty claim. So a warranty claim is where there's an issue with the product that you sold, but that issue is actually covered by a warranty. So, for example, if you have sold a gas barbecue and it comes with the manufacturer's warranty, which is provided by your supplier, and on that, it says that the gas is under warranty for the first 12 months of use, or the gas section of it, whatever it says in the warranty. And if you look at that issue and you check the warranty for that product as part of the process, just double check if it's covered. If it is covered, then we can make the warranty claim to our supplier or the manufacturer, whoever is enforcing the warranty, and we'll make a claim on their behalf of the customer and explain that they've said that it's under warranty, please fix it. The supplier will do their own due diligence and check that it is definitely done. But because you've got all the photos and details, you can send that straight to your customers, to your supplier, and they can make that decision. And they'll tell you either yes, it's covered, and they'll send out the replacement or whatever needed, or they'll say no, it's not covered, and then we need to say that information back to the customer. And because you've checked with the warranty provider, you've done your best efforts in terms of checking for the warranty claim with the warranty provider, and it's not covered in there, well, we can help them with a resolution, which would be either a local repair, or they need to buy a new part, or they need to buy a replacement, whatever's required for that situation. And the final type of issue would be if it's a customer's fault. So this one is sometimes more difficult to identify, because customers won't often come out and tell you unless you can see from the photos, the videos, and the description and why there's an issue. So if there's any issue that's been caused by some sort of damage to the products and it's not immediately after delivery and they've not declared it straight away, then it has to go down as a customer's fault. And in this case, you'll have your policies to point towards, to say that you obviously you can't cover things for a customer's fault. You'll get all the details. You'll explain that we believe it's down to use that's caused the issue, and you can even get your suppliers back up if you need to for this situation. But in this case, we explain that we want to help them, but we can't help them with the refund or replacement or anything like that. We can help them with a new part, a new product, and offering where to go to repair services. But that's how we deal with a customer's fault. It's either going to be helping with the repair, helping with a new product, whatever's required if the customer's at fault. But with each of these, there's a clear step-by-step guidance on how to deal with each of them. And when you've got that clear step-by-step guidance, you're removing emotion. It's just a case of black and white. It's a case of, if this happens, then this is how we respond in every different situation. We have a process to follow, and then we protect our reputation because we're just enforcing the policies. And it means that you don't have to take things so personally. It means everything falls into a category and your customers are looked after, and ultimately your mental health is looked after because you're not having to go through all of these issues yourself. So with this system, ultimately, it's all about removing headaches, taking customers away from being people with steam coming out of their ears to being a happy customer and being a happy business owner, because you know that processes are taking care of your business and you can rest easy at night because you know customers are taken care of within the boundaries of your policies. And it's that peace of mind is so valuable. So this is what I help people to put into their businesses now. I create systems so they know how to deal with every situation. I put VAs into people's businesses, e-commerce businesses as well, so it's all handled so they can focus on improving their business rather than doing the day-to-day management. So if you want my help with that, send me a message on Instagram for advice, or we can book in a call and we can chat about how I can help you with putting these systems into your business. So with that said, hope you got value out of this video today. If you have, let me know, subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.